special event alert.
Tie your shin splint shoes and run! This is Late for Changeover, your weekly space news and variety show. I'm Marty Smith, your host, and I'm joined by Mr. History, Eric Burrock.
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
And our man in the closet, Jake Wall.
Mixing it up, are we, Marty? Huh? Okay.
We're here to bring you the latest headlines and updates pertinent to all Guardians and to the other Earth-based branches as well. So take your seats, get informed, and have a laugh as we present Late for Changeover.
Woo! I like that Earth-based branch.
Yeah, Earth-based. Terran-based.
Earth-based.
Terraforming-based.
Terran-based.
So.
Yeah.
How's your week, guys?
Good, man. Good. You know,
Good week. Good
it's
weekend.
been tough getting up at 9.
Yeah.
Trying to
Oh, well, yeah, but you hoard yourself out a couple of days. Oh, was that the week before?
No, that was the week before. 6 days in Feb.
So
So March, I'm clean.
That's my
6 whole days you worked.
way
Yeah,
of saying you're a
clean.
1099 employee for
Yeah.
3 days. So.
Yes, 6 days. Don't.
Oh,
6.
6 days.
Yeah, man. Come on. Don't
That
cut me
doesn't sound
short.
that doesn't sound like retirement to me.
I got to get paid here pretty soon, too.
6 days, Marty, in a month?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. That's
Were they consecutive, or was it like
No,
one,
three,
two?
3 days.
Yeah.
yeah, but okay.
we can
Put yourself in that mindset,
Yeah.
Jake. You don't have to work anymore. You're retired,
Yeah.
and you, out of whatever sense you do it, you sign up and you're like, "Hey, I'll go help these guys out." On that 6th day, you ain't saying to yourself, "Oh my fucking god, this is the last time I do this."
Every time I've done it, I've said that.
Have you really?
I wake up at 6:00 and my wife's like, "You're up early." I'm like,
Why
"I know,"
are you
and I
doing
can't
this?
stand this. Why? Absolutely, every time. So
Does
then
she
it'll
get
be
up
about,
early?
Oh yeah, and she hates that too. So it'll be like 4 weeks, 5 weeks, and then they may call me and say, "Hey, none of us are going to be in the office. Could you, hold the fort down?" That kind of thing. And I go, "Yeah." And then she goes, "Remember, just 6:00 comes early." I said, "Oh yeah."
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
And then you got the midshift guy going out, and he's like, "Oh yeah, that trash can really smells. You might want to take that out." See you, Eric.
Yeah, pretty much. It's tough duty.
I think once you flip that switch, it's just it'd be hard to do it. So
Well, I got to tell you, they really took good care of me when I was in a
yeah, right.
full-time employee.
That's
So
true.
I feel like, especially the big guy, the boss,
Yeah.
Yeah.
he took real good care of me. So I feel a little obligated to him too.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Fair enough.
Good stuff, man.
All right.
Oh no, man! I'm not beholden
right.
to anybody.
Once you're
I'm
out.
done.
It'll come. It's coming.
Yep.
I'll give up the clearance, and then I'll talk bad about people for sure.
Oh, then we can get the real Eric,
I can't wait.
the unfiltered, the raw.
Man,
Jen
that'll be
Eric.
good
Debrief
days.
first. Debrief.
All right, let's jump into the news. So, this is especially for Eric. I was surprised they did it, right? I first heard about it on Facebook
This is
from the
so,
outgoing
so
Chief
bad.
Master Sergeant of the Air Force, Joanne Bass, right?
So
She
bad.
posted it out there. So I went and found the story. Air and Space Forces magazine published an article about the Air Force grooming standards outlined in the Daffy 362903. Now, this isn't new. They came out with this version last year. But again, apparently there was so much confusion that they had to reissue it with graphics.
Nice.
Hmm.
And it was probably because either somebody got chewed out who was like, "I was within the rig," and the guy was like, "Oh shit, I guess I don't know the rig," or somebody wasn't chewed out, and then that guy got chewed out by his commander. Is like, "Why don't you enforce that?" He's like, "Because I don't know." So they reissued it with a bunch of pictures.
Well, looking at those pictures,
Nice.
you scratch your head and
Well,
go,
but you wouldn't think the Air Force would need pictures, right? We're supposed to be the smartest force, or the Space Force, right? Nope, we needed pictures.
Nope.
So, and the article says, from neck tattoos to ponytails, the Air Force has revamped its dress and appearance standards in recent years. To tamp down on confusion, the service republished its dress and personal appearance instructions on February 29th, complete with new graphics to serve as visual guides. Lieutenant General Caroline Miller, Deputy Chief of Staff for Manpower, Personnel, and Services, said, "We've reviewed the policy in whole to make certain we are communicating standards clearly, making it an easier tool for commanders, supervisors, airmen, and guardians. Revisions were made over a number of years, but we felt the need to revisit the entire document to remove redundancies, out-of-date information, and decrease subjectivity. Space Force Guardians must also adhere to the regulations listed out in the DAFI." All right. So let's go through, just for you, Eric.
3510.
Let's go through the big graphic pictures that they have. All right.
Oh.
3510, was that yours?
Whoops. I started with the wrong slide. Okay. So if you had a question on your nail polish color, right? And look how simplistic that guide is. I mean, they leave nothing to doubt here, right? So,
yeah, except for like 5 colors on the bottom row that's
well,
unauthorized.
I know. I don't know about this green. Remember the word faddish? Remember that was always in the old standards?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
this faddish, you can't wear it.
Yeah.
Apparently you can now. So, but you can't have any of these on the bottom.
So tell me the second one from the right, from the blue on the unauthorized table, doesn't look like a number of those. Like
It
in the
looks
middle
like
of
the
row.
third row,
Yes.
one in from the left.
Exact
Yeah,
same
it's pretty
color.
damn close, right? I mean, I can't see having a captain and a senior airman, and he's got the book open to this page, and he's like, "Put your finger right here. Put your finger right here."
Oh, so here's what, like you said earlier, we were talking about this. So you put a picture of a guy getting ready to jump out of a C-47 World War II vet,
Right.
hardcore, high and tight, no nails pierced or anything, and then you show him
Then I show you
ultimate
this.
airman. Oh, that's so much better. Oh man.
So the
I love
above-
Eric's pure annoyance with this. I'm like,
he's just balling his
Oh.
fists right now. He's like,
but you know this, like the generation before us was like, look at these sissies. Look at they got to have everything written out. They
Right,
got to have all
right.
these reg. Like every generation is like.
but look at
trashing
all
the
the
old
look
one.
at all the women that we served with, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They would be just like us at this. They would be like,
Yes.
"Are you effing
Oh.
kidding me?" Right?
Agreed. I think this is just ridiculous.
The
Now-
mustaches needed to change.
Yeah,
Because
if you can't
before Air
extend beyond,
Force
it looks so
was
cheesy.
like-
right,
A little pervy one.
right, because it couldn't go
Um,
past the mouth. But it hasn't changed that much, really.
No.
Can't go past the bottom lip and
Hang over the top, right? Can't hang over the top.
So
But
no
at-
throat tattoos.
At least we got that clarification on
but
the
neck
tattoo.
tattoos are good.
Yeah, thank God. It's clear as a
Is
bell.
it like
right
a
there.
is it still a coverage area? Like the amount of skin
Yeah, that's a good
covered,
point.
or-
Yeah, I mean, can you take
I don't remember.
Can you take from this blue line and just completely black out your
Just
whole neck to the
Matte
other
black
side?
it.
don't
Can
know.
can I put like MS-13 back here?
I still don't think you can
like
have
his
gang
usual.
stuff.
Yeah.
I
Gang
still don't
related
think you
symbols?
can have open gang stuff.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's stuff
let's
that
see.
you could hide under.
Now
the-
look at these
the spurs.
unauthorized male hair examples.
Mhm.
The one in the middle, I mean, that's kind of mohawky, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that seems.
That's good.
I
Let's
mean-
get it's not authorized anyway.
Yeah, right. Well, right,
Okay.
right. But it used to be. Yeah, guys would do that, and they'd look stupid doing it, but
No,
they
it
would
wouldn't
do
be.
it.
It wouldn't be quite.
It
that
wouldn't be so
high.
poofy on top.
Yeah,
right.
it would be a lot.
I'm
lot-
disappointed the ombre is not authorized.
I had to look that up. I didn't know what
freaking
they
hardcore.
Eric, do you know what ombre is?
I
The
do not.
old ombre hairstyle, bottom the women's all the way to the right.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's highlighted towards the bottom end of
Oh,
their
the
hair.
helmet looking thing, man. It looks like a helmet.
Well, yeah,
The
but
helmet
it's the coloring. It's the coloring. So,
Mm.
Now,
but
see, I would have thought Space Force would have said they'd shave sides with a bun.
that one right in the middle,
Right on.
she looks badass.
Friggin-
Yeah, make that Space Force.
That lady
required.
is intimidating right there.
I would put her up as a Space Force recruiting poster. I'd be like,
Oh, man.
look at her.
That's
Yeah,
so
hardcore.
wicked bad,
Ugh,
man.
I'd be proud to have served next.
That's the most intimidating Space Force member.
Oh
ever.
yeah, absolutely. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, here's addressing the ponytail.
Ponytails. All right.
All right.
I think that was
I saw two
pretty
women
clear
today in
already,
the
though.
conference that had longer than that ponytails. But who's going to enforce it? Who has the balls to enforce any of this stuff right now?
No, you'd get. Oh my God! Could you imagine your first sergeant involvement would be stupid?
Oh, yeah, it would be months. It
Yeah.
would be months because as soon as they make the EO complaint, that's it.
So the two side ponytails now are authorized, like that one young lady's got on two.
Oh yeah, all that's authorized up there.
Well, that's what I mean. I never. Oh, jeez.
That seems like it would take longer than just putting it up in a bun.
Mm.
So I don't know. You see these the ones on the bottom, the two on the right, those two pictures on the right? It seems like I saw Jess James wear her hair like that several times.
oh. That's
And you
good.
just get a big enough hat. that you
No,
put
she
over.
had the bun though. She was pretty good about it. Her hair was like slick back. There were no
That's true.
flyaways. There
That's
was no
true.
nothing. That was a freaking helmet.
I don't know. I sort of with Marty on that. I
Yeah.
think I've seen a number of women wear their hair like that,
Yeah, and
like
and
they had just
Oh,
woke up, threw it up
I
here.
know they
stuck it
buy
out.
a bigger hat to cover all that stuff.
Mm.
I've had a woman.
Yeah,
tell
but
me.
they were the buns though. It's not just a
Yeah, I know. That's
ponytail, is
just
it?
a mess. That's a
Looks like a
fucking-
waterfall.
Yeah, that's a mess. Sexy
Man, some of those ladies doing the freaking sock and stuff in there and like
Mm.
tucking in those buns, like they used to be hard.
though. I don't know. Maybe this is maybe I'm overstepping by saying this, but
No, most
Um,
likely, and I'm looking forward to it.
I mean with the eyelashes, the nail color, the long hair, that I mean there used to be sexual assault prevention training where they're like, hey, so don't do overly
If you
sexy
dress
kind of
the
stuff,
part,
right?
don't let it be
Oh,
surprising.
here
if
I'm
we
somebody-
not
go.
victim blaming.
This is our canceling moment.
I'm not
Oh.
victim blaming. But when we went
Two of
20
our
years
three
ago,
mothers have unsubscribed by now. God, it's a roll
But-
of the dice. Which two?
we might have got those couple guys who got out and they're like, keep preaching, baby. That's what I keep saying. Don't wear your hair down. I can't control myself.
Okay, so here's a big one for you. Here's a big one for you.
And
Being a-
orange nails and long eyelashes, all in
Being-
uniform. Oh,
being a cop and taking on a much larger combat role now, especially our women, does this apply when they're in the field, or do we go
that's a good
tactical?
point.
Exactly.
don't
That's what I
have-
was wondering because that's a handhold, and
Absolutely,
that's like
absolutely.
Yeah, but what does that do for the Al Udeed 7, right?
that's a whole different thing.
Yeah, but now they can wear their hair down. They can wear all
Oh,
that
yeah.
stuff. All of a sudden, that's 7, maybe a 9.
Oh.
That's all I'm saying.
The desert bump.
Desert.
Now we've been canceled for sure. You're done.
Yep. Way to go, Marty.
You
We
are.
all know that's true, though.
Wow.
We all know you get at least plus 2 points when you're in the desert.
All right,
Or
so
a
let me
Florida
tell you some
For sure.
a couple things that were additionally included in this Daffy update. Commanders can authorize. This is funny. All right. Additionally, commanders can authorize airmen to wear caps while indoors due to baldness or hair loss from a medical condition. Who the hell's asking to do that?
I don't know if you have like skull surgery or something.
I don't know, man.
There can't be like.
It's
that-
that's mean.
It says baldness, so you can wear a hat now because I'm bald. He's like, hey, bald
No,
and beard.
it's
Bald
that
and
called?
beard.
Alopecia, that disease that makes you go bald.
alopecia.
Alopecia.
Yeah.
Alopecia. Right.
Maybe that applies.
Made famous by Will Smith's wife, right?
Miss Pickett, yes.
Security Forces airmen can wear their Security Forces shield on their OCP uniform. I didn't know
Okay.
they couldn't do that. So are they talking about that patch that was on the BDU?
I'm assuming so
Yeah,
because I don't know
I
what
would
the
assume that.
I don't know what the
so-
OCP is now. I don't know what that
Well,
stands
that's the
That's
new
that's the Velcro on the arm uniform.
for. Okay.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm assuming they could wear it maybe under their
Rip it off.
But
and
it's
stick it.
flag.
it's not like the
Flag or
BDUs
something.
where you had to sew a patch on each pocket and all that other
Yeah,
extra
yeah.
sewing.
Yeah.
And there's only what name, rank, branch on the front. That's the
Yeah.
only Velcro on the front.
Right.
The only the other
So now I
Velcro's
guess
on the arm.
that they had enough complaints from security forces, and so they're like, okay, fine, sew your badge on if you want to sew your badge.
Well, see, we didn't have a
Man.
badge. We had the black leather tag.
Yeah.
maybe
had
that's
our
what they're talking about.
That
Yeah,
had
maybe
our shield on it.
maybe that's what
It
they're
had your
talking
rank
about.
name and our shield right there on them. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
he's
it does say
talking about
security
way
forces
back.
airmen can wear their security forces shield on their OCP uniform. So I guess prior to that, they said don't do it.
Do it.
Let's see. Beards are still not authorized without a waiver, though the new regs clarify that wing commanders are authorized to approve waivers for religious regalia, including beards. Let's see. The updated policy comes about a year after Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force Joanne Bass wrote an open memo urging airmen to abide by standards. So I cut this piece out. In a February 29th statement, she said, quote, part of being a profession of arms is embodying the higher set of standards that comes with serving our great nation. Accountability matters. Standards matter. And the ones we walk by, the ones we ignore, are the ones we accept.
All right.
It's great. That's a great speech.
I like it.
But then you're like, oh, yeah, we just relaxed all these
Everything.
standards because we're 40,000 short on recruiting.
Everything. Yeah.
So, okay. I was going to do. I ran across, and I apologize for the lack of prep tonight.
Oh,
But I ran across an article which was really, really interesting, talking about like the history of uniform and grooming standards, and it said, well, F it, I'll just bring it up.
Bring it up. Yeah.
But it talked about how grooming standards started back in the 1700s, 1800s, and why they wore beards and powdered wigs and all that kind of stuff. It was really, really pretty interesting. Hair has a long and short history in U.S. Armed Forces. So, like they said, in the late 1700s and early 1800s, cavalrymen preferred a clubbed hairstyle in which they gathered the hair at the back of the neck and tied it in a firm bundle. So it's like a man bun kind of
Ponytail.
thing,
mhm.
right? It talks about how they didn't have a lot of barbers, so they're like, okay, you can have a beard, right?
Okay.
But it was pretty neat. It was pretty interesting. I didn't read it well enough to do it any justice here, but I was going to contrast
Good.
how we have changed and now how we're still changing. And
Yeah.
maybe it's not that big of a thing until you see the nail color and the false eyelashes.
I would like to see
Hey.
the difference of people who are now joining going, oh, it's not for me now. You guys have relaxed the standards. I needed something that I was going to be a professional soldier at and not have to worry about a beard or stuff now.
Well, I think
So I
you
would
can.
back off that.
I think you can still, if you were that gung ho, you still go in the Marines. Yeah, you
Yep.
go in the Marines,
True.
right?
True. Yes, that's a good point.
I don't know if the Army has relaxed stuff that much, but I think they're allowing them to wear ponytails at least. But depending on what they do, because Army does a lot more stuff out in the field, so there's still probably a ring restriction. Probably, I'm sure you can't have extended nails if you're out there working on a Humvee.
Well, now your camo sticks have different colors, just not OD green and black. You've got a few pinks,
The
some
Estee
blues.
Lauder camo stick.
Is that mauve? Did you get mauve?
Oh,
Oh yeah.
good
Hey.
on you for
I remember
knowing
the
that
collar.
Jake.
Yes,
Good on you,
that's it. That's awesome. I
man.
still own about 6 of them things, man. I still got
Do you?
What, camel sticks? What are you doing
Oh,
with
yeah.
them?
They were just in a hawk bag that I kept with all a bunch of my gear
those
and
are
shit
the
in it.
worst.
For all your camo stick Mr. History
Oh.
needs.
Oh,
Come see me.
Check out his OnlyFans.
Woo!
Well, you know when they were teaching us to put camo
Subdued, baby.
on the face, right? You had to darken the
Yeah.
highlight areas and lighten the darkened areas, right?
Mhm.
So would that be darkening?
Yeah,
I'm just gonna have
reverse.
to subscribe to find out what he
Yeah, you have
darkened
to
and lightened.
subscribe. Oh,
I can't wait for
I
that.
did not
footage.
see that coming. Look at that.
I got to tell you, I'm really flexible in my color coding. I got to.
Oh.
I just
color
am.
coding.
I just am. I truly am.
I like it. I like
Lighten
it.
the dark areas, darken the light
Ooh.
areas. So, all right, you guys ready for some food news?
Yes.
Oh,
I didn't
yeah.
have any better. I know that's so dumb,
Always.
but I didn't have any better thing to come up with.
And I think it's a good story, though. It's relevant.
Yeah, but I food news. I could have.
He was working on the transition.
I
Gotcha.
was
Gotcha.
trying to do my transition.
Yeah.
All right, this is from taskandpurpose.com. So last week, the United States started doing humanitarian drops of food
Into
for Gaza, right?
Gaza. Yeah.
But they dropped. Well, all right. Let me do it this way. So this is from Task and Purpose. I'm not going to read the title, but we all know what MREs are, right? Have you ever heard of the Humanitarian Daily Ration, or HDR? I hadn't heard of it until I read this article. So the prepackaged Humanitarian Daily Rations, or HDRs, has nutritional content specifically designed to reach malnourished people. And it's packaged like an MRE, but it's HDR. Each HDR contains at least 2,200 calories compared to the 1,300 calories in an MRE. I thought the MRE had like 3,500 calories. I didn't.
Well, that's what I told
that's
Jake too. I thought it was
stunning
too.
low number.
I thought it was higher. So maybe they did cut back. Maybe you're not just getting oatmeal bar, peanut butter, all the fat in the Franks, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
According to a U.S. pamphlet on Defense Department rations, an individual HDR includes enough nutritional value to sustain a moderately malnourished person for a day. So it is designed specifically for
one
malnourished
package,
people. Right? The pamphlet says in order to provide the widest possible acceptance from the variety of potential customers with diverse religious and dietary restrictions from around the world, the HDR contains no animal products or animal byproducts, except that minimal amounts of dairy products are permitted. So obviously got a lot of plant-based stuff, a lot of vegetarian stuff, which makes sense. I mean, because you don't know who you're going to drop it to.
Yeah.
True.
So
I'm impressed with the fact that they actually put something like that together.
Well,
and said, wow.
You remember the early days, Eric. Well, you were eating MREs before like the hot sauce came in them. Those first iterations. Remember those?
I went all the way back to sea rations. I got a box of sea rations.
No way.
Jesus, really?
Where you had a Triox tab. That's you could warm up your can.
Yeah, right.
Heat your can of spaghetti. That's how far I went back, man.
So you could take your steel pot off, put water in it,
and
boil it. Jesus Christ.
That's how you shave.
Well, you were in pickle suits, right? When you came in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was all green.
Yep.
But I remember when they started coming out with all faith meals, MREs, and that was essentially the same thing. It was like no meat, no pork, just kind of a lot of vegetarian, plant-based stuff. I still think you could eat an oatmeal bar, but I don't know. Maybe.
Well, it's a great idea. I just never knew they did it. That's pretty cool.
So that's what they.
If you had less waste too, right?
Right.
And normally you have one or two, like a couple of MREs a day. That other one, that's 1 day worth of food right there in that package.
In the HDR with 2,200 calories. Yeah, that's almost your daily.
But MREs have like a legendary ability to either stop you up or loosen you up. So,
yeah, right.
Nothing consistent. You're one end or the other on that.
I knew guys who would purposely try to trade for like the cheese and crackers or the peanut butter, so they didn't have to go to take a dump out in the field.
Yeah.
We go on a 3 or 4 day field problem, and they would I was like, God, that can't be healthy.
No, it's not.
But
I knew a lot of guys that did that shit.
They had such an aversion to shitting out in the field that they would rather implode their insides rather than go cop a squat, right?
That's crazy.
So that's what they were supposed to drop to Gaza was the HDRs. They didn't drop the HDRs, right? This last weekend's drop of relief supplies to the beleaguered population inside Gaza was more than 38,000 military-grade meals ready to eat, regular MREs.
Oops.
The drop did not include bulk quantities of staples like rice, flour, or any of that stuff. So instead of dropping HDRs, the U.S. military dropped thousands of regular MREs over Gaza because the rations were immediately available in military stocks.
Here's your pork.
All right.
Sorry.
Yeah. That is the problem, right? I mean, I understand their justification, but Eric, you're right.
Yeah.
You can't eat pork. You can't eat this. You can't eat that.
Well, you can't read it. I mean, if you didn't know what English was.
Yeah. Or are you starving so bad
that
you're going to go, hey, my God.
Well, and we'll get into that, the dietary stuff, but
my God's going to let me eat it.
Somebody posted, I guess a Palestinian posted this out on X of one of the drops, right? So there's the regular MRE boxes they got.
Yeah.
And that's the wind. The wind blew the shit out of it.
كل باكج بيختلف عن الثاني. في عندنا منيو واحد، منيو ثلاثة ومنيو
chili with beans.
هنا chili with beans.
Yeah.
Chicken noodles. Spaghetti with beef. خلينا نشوف أول باكج.
What are you doing? An unboxing in Gaza? Jeez.
It was the Berlin airlift.
It's like a whole unboxing video of an MRE in Gaza. Come on.
And if he knew what any of those words were, he'd be like, oh, yeah, I can't eat this one or this one or this one. So
no, those are all good. You're good.
Thank you, U.S. The thousands of meals U.S. C-130 cargo planes dropped onto a beach in Gaza included many that the U.S. would recognize like spaghetti, chili, chicken noodles. Tahani Mustafa, who was the senior Palestine analyst for the International Crisis Group, said, quote, while the MREs that the U.S. military have a lot of calories, the food's nutritional value may not be sufficient for Palestinians, especially for people with different dietary requirements, allergies, and other medical issues. Another issue relief planners face is extremely short supplies of potable water in Gaza. Tahini Mustafa added that Palestinians have limited fuel to boil water, and MREs are generally designed to be consumed with a lot of water, right?
Yep.
You ever eat one without taking a drink? Ugh.
Oh,
No.
That's
I can't imagine like that peanut butter. No.
Yeah,
Like,
my God.
half the beef stew.
Well, they had that cracker challenge for the longest time.
Yeah.
It was like
no way.
the 2 slabs of crackers. I think you had to eat it in 2 minutes with no water.
You
Just see
could
if you
swallow.
Yeah, it's just plaster. It turns to plaster in your mouth.
So if I'm Palestinian, do I start going, oh, the Americans did it on purpose, taunting us? Taunting us.
That's
I hope
point.
not.
You send us food we can't
Somebody
eat,
will.
and you know
Somebody
we
will
can't.
make that claim. Sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, somebody will make that
Absolutely.
claim.
You think so?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. They attack everything we do.
Yeah.
I mean, everything is attacked. Everything in this country is attacked from some angle.
I would agree. Somebody will go, they did it on purpose. They knew we wouldn't be able to
Right.
eat it.
Now, I don't
It's
want to
gonna cause
bash.
problem.
I don't want to bash the relief effort because they're trying to do
No.
something, right? I
Sure.
get it, and the logic
Yeah.
makes sense. It's like we got to drop something
Yeah.
tomorrow.
We have this.
We don't have enough HBRs. Okay, give them MREs. At least it's something.
Yeah.
Right. But I do remember when I think it was Desert Storm when they were handing MREs out to some of the Kuwaitis or whatever it was, and they were getting sick because they were eating that desiccant pack.
Oh,
The thing
the
that's
do
supposed
not
to-
eat packet.
Yeah, the do not eat. But the kids were eating it because they didn't know.
It helps keeps the stuff fresh.
Yeah.
It can't. I mean, is it
So,
yummy?
it's always just, it's like, oh, we should have thought one more step. Just one
That's
more
crazy.
step. Well, it wasn't not only did they not drop the HBRs, but they dropped the MREs, but they had high winds, as you saw in that video.
Yeah, they were in the water.
And I know the pilot said it was a difficult drop because it was so windy. But videos show pilots caught in high winds while under their parachute canopies, though most appear to have been released over open water. Many slung far up on the nearby beaches in the wind. So some dropped into the ocean because of the wind.
Mm.
I'm like, shit.
Not very successful.
The guy, the planner's sitting waiting back. He's like, how'd the drop go? All right. I know we didn't have HBRs, we got MREs, but how'd the drop go?
Yeah.
Half of them landed in the water. He's like,
gosh dang it.
I'm fired. I'm losing my job. God.
So, in addition to the wrong MREs and the high winds, now listen to this part. President Joe Biden announced on March 1st that the United States will begin airdropping supplies straight into Gaza rather than on the beach, following an incident the day before in which more than 100 Palestinians were killed as they gathered around food aid trucks. Ooh. And I saw some of the pictures. It was like a UN mad rush for food, right? Ooh. Attempts to rely on local tribes for security at food distribution points in Gaza have not worked. Oh. Doesn't that remind you of something? Yeah. Isn't that Somalia? Isn't that what happened to Somalia? Again. Yeah. Right?
So it's the local tribes that are grabbing it?
That's what they said. Oh, the local tribes will provide security. And they're like, nope. That didn't work either.
That's failing miserably.
Security from Israel or from themselves?
Security around the food drop points, right? Or the food. I guess they put some trucks in there with food. And 100 people got crushed or killed trying to get food. And I guess they were trying to rely on local tribes for security around the food drop area.
They're going, we'll take care of this.
So this guy's like, all right. Wrong MREs. Some landed in the water. Tell me at least the local guys were keeping security. And the guy's like,
nope.
He's like, hey, update my resume.
Not the successful mission.
God. Oh. And like I said, I don't want to bash it. It's an easy thing to bash because they were trying to do something. But we got so many good planners. We got so many smart people. The only thing I can see is that they dropped in that high wind is because somebody told them to go drop in that high wind. Because the pilots were probably like, hey, can we wait 6 hours and see if this thing clears up? And he's like, now. You'll drop it now.
Well, I'm sure the need dictated, people dying on the ground.
I guess.
And try to get what we can on the ground, even if, some of it falls off mark. I mean...
like half of it goes in the ocean. Man.
But if you're getting a little bit to somebody...
I suppose.
I would say something's better than nothing.
Right, I suppose. And no matter the results of this, somebody got to go back and say, hey, successful food drop today.
Yeah.
What are they going to name it? Right? We had the Berlin airlift.
I don't know.
What are we?
The Gaza goose drop.
Well, what was... no, that's not the same thing. Never mind. I'm not even going to say it. If I say it, Big Vern might make fun of me. So because it was a dumb thing I was going to say. So. Anyway, we'll see. We'll see how the successive stuff goes. But yeah, we are now in the humanitarian aid, and they did go on to stress that usually you have somebody on the ground to control the drop when it's that windy. But we didn't because we have no troops on the ground. They made sure to say that in the article, which makes me think, I wonder if they got troops on the ground.
Well, you did see your vice president call for the ceasefire, right? I mean, she hasn't talked to anybody in 2 years, and for the first time, she's behind the camera saying, hey, we are really requiring you to have a ceasefire.
You guys knock it off.
Please stop. Please stop. Like, okay, because she said so. We're going to stop.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Hopefully it has some kind of resolution. Because I saw the pictures of some of the Palestinians, and they look rough.
Yeah.
Because they're cut off from everything. With the fighting right there. Yeah. You got no food.
And you're getting the hell blown out of you every day.
Yeah, every day. Sure. And it's not, and these aren't the people who are, probably the extremists. They're just like, I'm just trying to live here, man. And I got no food, no water. You're dropping pork on my head, which I can't eat.
Well, and I'm afraid for every extremist that the Israelis kill, some young kid adapts that type of behavior.
Oh, you make a whole family. Yeah, of course.
Oh,
Of course. That's why that conflict's been going on forever.
Sure.
So.
You just create another martyr.
Okay, let's go from let's go to worse news. All right?
Worse.
Oh, even better.
Yeah, this is so disturbing because it's so unknown, right? It's unknown. Now this is a little bit confusing. I'm gonna do my best to kind of clean it up and clear it out. So I didn't go through the whole article, but hopefully it's enough that you guys get it. Like I asked you, Eric, in your law enforcement career, have you ever heard of titling and indexing?
No, I don't think I have.
So I haven't either, but this article explains it. So
Titling and indexing.
from stripes.com, the article's titled Veterans Fight to Clear Their Names for Military Crimes They Did Not Commit. And it starts off with an example.
Wait,
So,
it's the guy that stole the Humvee that's trying to get off, right?
oh, no, not at all.
He's not military.
He's trying to get
He's
off.
a civilian.
Did they even find that guy? Yeah, they did find that guy, I think, right?
Okay, Chris.
No,
couldn't
he's straight up crook. He knew he did it. Right? He knew he did it.
I thought
These
he's like,
guys don't
It
know.
wasn't me. It wasn't me. I swear.
All right, now this story is retired Sergeant Major, right, of the Army. Retired Sergeant Major Eric Brown first learned of his criminal record in 2021 during a screening for veteran disability benefits as part of his retirement from the Army. He met with a civilian psychologist in South Korea as part of a post-traumatic stress disorder screening. The psychologist asked him whether his pending criminal charge was causing him emotional distress. Brown, who spent 28 years doing HR work in the Army, said he looked at the doctor perplexed. 2 years prior, a fellow soldier in Korea accused him of assault. She told military police that Brown, in a period of 3 months, had hit her on the back of the neck, bumped her in an on-post store at Camp Humphreys, and then grabbed her arm after an event. No charges ever came of the accusations, according to Brown's service record and documentation that he would later present to the Army Board for Correction of Military Records. An officer in Brown's chain of command with 8th Army conducted an internal investigation and found no evidence it happened, even discovering Brown wasn't even on post the day that he supposedly bumped the woman at the store. He was never arrested or detained or read his rights. There was no court-martial or non-judicial punishment. Instead, Brown received a reprimand in his personal file for unprofessional behavior. The letter scolded Brown for touching the woman's neck and then reaching for her arm after she had told him that she did not want to be touched. Nowhere in the letter does he write Brown was arrested or committed a crime. That's the important part. The ordeal has left him with a criminal arrest record listed on his background check with no resolution. Wow. As if he was still waiting to face judgment for a misdemeanor assault charge. So I was wondering how the hell did this get to his record?
Wow.
Brown is one of thousands of service members who have been investigated by military law enforcement agencies, never charged or convicted of a crime, and yet their criminal records show otherwise, according to attorneys who work with military clients. The root of the issue is the Defense Department policy ordering its law enforcement agencies to put a suspect's name into the FBI's National Crime Information Center database once agents have, quote-unquote, credible information that a crime occurred. The practice is known as titling and indexing. That's why I asked, Eric. I don't know if you heard that. But that must be an OSI or a CID thing.
Yep.
Credible information could be as simple as someone coming in and making a report. It typically precedes any evidence gathering or real investigative work, said Christopher Noonviller. It's a tough last name to say. Noonviller, a former Army attorney who continues to work on military cases. Civilian law enforcement agencies do not enter people into the national database until there is an arrest warrant or indictment. He published a paper to his law firm's website last month on the military's expansive use of criminal titling. He recommended the military adopt civilian law enforcement standards instead. The DoD transfer of the titling data to the national database before the investigation begins is a pervasive, arbitrary arbitrary, and capricious administrative function that serves no legitimate government purpose but to bureaucratically punish individuals. Okay, why are they doing this? Right?
Yeah. What's the benefit to the Air Force? Why are they doing
Let's see. Shit. Oh, okay. So this guy wrote, why they do this. He wrote last year in a lawsuit on criminal titling that the services do this as an overcorrection to the 2007 mass shooting carried out by an Air Force veteran in Sutherland Springs, Texas. I don't even remember that mass shooting.
2007?
Yeah, look that up. The veteran had a domestic violence conviction from his time in the service, but was never entered into the FBI database. This allowed him to purchase a firearm. Another lawyer said he gets calls at his law firm about titling expungement every day. Oh, so what they're saying is that the service overreacted to this incident in 2007. So they said, all right, CID, OSI, if you guys have any kind of background stuff on this guy, regardless if you charge him, into the database he goes. So people are like, I don't even realize I have a criminal record in the FBI until they start background checking me for some job. And then it pops up and he's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I was never convicted of this. And they're like, too bad. You're already in. Because that's their policy.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's their policy now. So they talked to these lawyers, and they got thousands of people trying to expunge these records. But for those who do seek expungement of their record, they are more than likely going to be denied, according to data from the military services. Less than 9% of service members and veterans who made requests to the Army and Air Force since 2021 were successful.
Jeez, man.
So you've got this charge, right, on your national record, not on the military, right, on your national record. So you try to go get a clearance, you try to get a job, and they're like, hey, you got a criminal charge on here because you're in this database.
And so it's pending.
You're in the database.
Yeah, but I mean,
done.
It
doesn't matter.
Earlier you said it looks like you haven't been, like, it hasn't been convicted. You haven't been, it's like pending.
But you have no recourse to try to go, how do I get this taken care of? And the military is like, well, we didn't charge you. And it says in the article, the military is saying, it's not us, that's the FBI. It's like, but you're giving them the information. Like he is.
Yeah, you're logging it first.
Right.
And now you're stuck.
Somebody.
Now it's the chicken and the egg. Yeah. Who crossed first kind of thing.
Yeah.
You're stuck.
So they said I guess there was a recruitment bonus thing about 10 years ago. Right. There was a bunch of fraud, and they did that. So after that, they started changing the law a little bit. So now they say you can go back, and it gives you a little bit more freedom to try to get this expunged. But it still falls on the servicemen to provide extra material for your case. So to provide more proof that it should be expunged. So it's
you're proving yourself innocent?
Yeah. Proving yourself innocent. Or to get it taken off your record. So once it's on, man, they're like,
you talk about FUBAR, man. That's some serious. That's FUBAR.
It sucks, dude.
And they said there are thousands of people like this. Some high qualified people who don't know they have it until they get out, and they're like, "Oh, I'll just go get this space job with my TS clearance." And they're like, wait a minute. You know, that background investigation shows you on an FBI database.
I must have been cleared.
That's as much as a federal crime almost.
I was cleared of all those charges.
Well, that's what's funny. They might not even bring charges, right?
No.
You're just under investigation.
You can get an honorable discharge.
Said,
that's what it said. You can get an honorable discharge, but have a criminal record. Because they pushed your information over to the FBI. And you know, once you're in, you can't dip your toe in the FBI stuff. Yeah. Right? You're never going to come out clean. It's like, sorry about that.
No, well, everybody knows there's no toe dipping in the FBI.
Yeah, we're going to watch you. We're going to watch
you.
So.
If it's even comes close to being classified as a freaking felony, Holy
Yeah,
cow,
right,
man!
right.
No
But I think
rentals, no
but I
carry
think
gun.
job
just-
searches, if they're doing background
Yeah.
checks for high jobs, they're going to see that flagged.
Yeah.
Whether it's true or not, they're just going to come back to you and go, "Look,
Nope, you're not.
your clearance is flagged, man. I
You're
can't
not
do
the
anything.
guy.
I can't do anything."
That's
He's like,
crazy.
I didn't even do anything. They're like,
Well, and think it wouldn't even have to be a clearance job if you don't
Yeah,
meet their
right.
standards.
Right.
They're like,
Yeah.
well, we don't. Sorry.
and
about
that whole bottom half of the article talks about two other people that were just like, hey, I did 23 years in, had an honorable discharge, and now I can't use my master's degree. I can't use because I can't get
Wow.
into the
Because
jobs I
they're
want to
just
get.
doing a background check.
That's a background check, right?
Wow.
Just that initial, like normal jobs just do background, not like
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
many times have you committed fraud or like
Right,
that
right.
kind of.
I wonder if there's any pending litigation with that. I'm sure there is. There's
Oh,
got to be
there's-
somebody's got a
there's-
lawyer that's got
That's what these lawyers are talking about. There's
Yeah.
there's like I said, there's thousands of them.
suing
then you
either
also-
the FBI or the Air Force or somebody.
Who's got the money to go pay for pending litigation? That's years out,
True.
right?
Especially
Yeah,
if
that
you're not
sucks.
working.
So there's a couple people. One person in particular. There's a woman named Liz Ullman. She's a 71-year-old Colorado retiree, and she's kind of become an unofficial collector of these stories on this titling subject. So she operates a website called Defend Our Protectors, where she provides information on titling and advocates for a change to the DoD policy. So you can go there and get
Nice.
some resources if you are in that boat. So
That's good. If it's
Uh,
that many people, man.
yeah. It says who's this guy? One of these quotes is, Army leaders are taking a position that they can create false government records with impunity. This is especially troubling when you consider that they're branding soldiers and veterans as criminals while granting them an honorable discharge. So
I'd love to see the difference between enlisted versus officer.
Well, that first guy was a sergeant major.
Well,
I mean, jeez.
that's higher.
But they have an officer, and he was in the guard, and he got promoted to captain, and they took it away because he had one of these charges on there.
Wow.
He's like, I didn't even know.
That's
but
insane.
this O'Connell, I think, is another lawyer. He said, if the flawed logic and false records weren't bad enough, it gets worse when you consider the impact on recruiting. What parent in their right mind would encourage their child to join a military knowing that their loved one may end up falsely branded as criminal for the rest of their life?
Yeah, but he can wear a beard and have a neck tattoo.
That he can really look like a criminal.
Yeah, you're good. Come on in.
So-
We'll let you have some eyelashes.
and you would have never known that unless maybe like that sergeant major found out.
Found out, yeah.
That's
That's
just
tough.
crazy, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's
I can't imagine.
if
that.
you look at it in a negative way, the VA's set up to be against you, right? Because they have a charge to save money, right? So they don't want to
Or
get
lose it.
their insurance.
yeah, they have
right?
a charge to lose money.
Right. Well, they miscount it, but they'll keep it from you, right?
Yeah,
And you got that against you. You got like this. They could go behind your back and you don't even know it, and set you up that way. You got stuff in the missile capsules causing cancer, stuff on the ground causing cancer.
Fire foam.
Oh my God. And then you got to fight for that claim. I mean, it's just is a VA loan and free education worth all that?
Sitting here, I wonder how we three made it.
Right.
yeah.
How did we get unscathed?
Hey, man. I don't know. That VA loan though is still pretty tempting.
It is pretty
yeah.
tempting.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I mean, especially now where the kids can't afford to buy a house anyway.
Yeah.
So,
Well, yeah.
I mean, who can come up with 10, 15 grand now to buy a house?
Oh man, I'm telling you, it's more than that if it's still 80%.
Or maybe you got to have a side hustle
20%.
like OnlyFans, and then But
We can't all
proud.
be blessed with beautiful.
Be proud.
there is no disability for your OnlyFans career, Eric. So I just telling you that right now.
I keep it hidden. They don't know.
Of course, if you do get disabled, there's
Under
probably
the
a
table.
category on OnlyFans that you might make some extra money.
You might want to wear that knee brace more often.
now
might-
I wonder.
You
If-
might secure that disabled fetish.
Oh,
Now here's the
Hey.
question: Does the military allow you to have an OnlyFans and make money independently? Is that considered another job?
It should be another job, right?
Right?
I don't know.
Because it doesn't have to be pornographic in nature. There are people that
But-
have OnlyFans that do
That's true.
stupid
Right,
shit.
right. It's not
It's another
Yeah.
source of income, so you have to claim it with your first
Do you?
sergeant or supervisor. At least.
Even if it's not like, I mean, they don't want
Well-
you to have another job because that could take away from your primary duties.
True.
Yeah.
But you,
Or you can have another job, but you got to ask for permission and get a letter
Yeah.
to be
can't
granted.
you see a cop sitting out on the flight line inputting his OnlyFans pictures?
No,
Hey,
you can't-
he'd
you
get in
can't do it
trouble
on
for that,
duty.
right? You can't do it in, like in uniform or around a military place. But it would be almost
Taking
like
pictures of his gun. Look at
what
my
if
gun.
you were
y'all.
what if you were like sports betting, right? What if you were
Yeah.
consistently sports betting and you had a secondary income on it? Would you have to report that?
Oh, that's a good question.
I think so, honestly.
You think so?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
I did-
betting, so that they'll
I
always.
did that volunteer like tax. Remember back in the day?
Oh yeah,
they had
yeah. Would you get help
Tax
prepare
people,
tax
and they would
returns?
just grab
yeah.
random people.
And you had to go
They
learn
sent
how to
me
do
to-
it for like a week or something like that, and then
Yeah, they sent me to do that. I did it for a week, and one of our instructors, one of our fellow instructors, he gambled so much down at Shumash Casino that was his secondary.
he made that
Income.
much.
He made, yeah.
Whoa.
So he had to claim it on taxes. Like,
yeah.
But
Yeah.
if he
He was
truly
good at it.
wanted to keep that hidden, it seems like he
Oh,
could
it'd
do a
be
pretty good
easy
job
to-
to keep.
yeah.
Yeah. Now, I mean, your
Yeah.
income tax.
same with the
your
OnlyFans, I think probably.
income tax would be
Oh.
big.
Only if
But-
you reported it.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
think about some of the female teachers who have been busted and lost their job over an OnlyFans, using it to supplement their, low-paying
I don't
teacher
know
job.
how that is. I think in some cases somebody recognizes them.
Oh,
Right.
for sure. Some
They've been
parent,
caught because somebody
some-
recognized
For
them.
sure.
some dad out there went, "Oh, that's my 5th grade son's teacher." Ah! Holy cow, man!
That's why he's like, "Hey, Dad, how come you're always taking me to school nowadays?" He's like, don't worry, I love you, son. I just gotta.
Yep.
I'm
like
gonna have.
that
I'm
fifth
gonna
grade
come and have
period.
lunch
Yeah.
with you too, sir. I'm gonna come and have
Go in
lunch.
the office and check your grades.
We're blackmailing.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man.
Dad, it's
Crazy.
not PTA night again. I was like, oh yeah, I gotta go. Gotta talk about your grades.
That's too much.
Concerned for your future.
Yeah.
Eric,
Ooh.
cheer us up with some military date
Oh,
history. today.
history.
I got a good one, guys. I like it. It's pretty quick, though. Painless kind of thing, So think about this. March 5th, 1942. There was always a need for construction of advanced bases and combat zones. And as you did island jumping in the Pacific, it got more and more, hey, we need to have flight lines. You need to have runways, right? So
Yep.
who to do that? So the Naval Construction Force, better known as the Seabees,
Seabees.
was born on March 5th, 1942.
Oh, really?
Yeah. To meet the Navy's need for the construction of advanced bases and combat zones during World War II, Rear Admiral Ben Morrell, Chief of the Bureau of Yards and Docks, requested specific authority to activate, organize, and staff Navy construction units. The first CB units were authorized on 5 January 1942, and official authorization of the CB name and insignia occurred on March 5th, 1942. So,
Nice.
yeah, since then, for more than 75 years, CBs have been the Navy's construction force, building bases and airfields, conducting underwater construction, and building roads, bridges, and other support facilities. They play a
CB's
crucial role. Go ahead.
Isn't CB short for something?
Well, it means, I got that. Hold on. To build and fight.
So
Yeah. So their
it's
motto.
construction battalion, and then they did the Latin motto.
Oh,
and
they
it's
did.
also CB.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Okay. All right.
So it's pretty cool.
I'm sorry, I
CB
interrupted you, Eric. Sorry.
No problem. CBs also play an important role in sustaining global relationships. Seabees are forward deployed around the world to provide engineering and construction support while promoting regional stability and improving lives through engineering civil action projects in many countries. So again, huge deal. I mean, you guys remember in Vietnam, the Green Berets when the guy says,
don't remember that.
"Come on, pal. Come on, pal." So Green Berets
In the John Wayne movie?
Yeah, when the
Oh,
guy
okay.
says, "Hey, I need that jungle pushback. Let me get my dozer. I'll push that bitch to Hanoi," or something like that. You remember his comment?
No.
CB guys?
Yeah, where he tells him, "I need that jungle pushback. I need a killing zone."
Yeah.
Seabees
Okay.
did that. John Wayne's son did that. So again, March 5th. Lack of movie knowledge here hurt my transition.
No. I don't mind
Lack of
that.
movie
I don't
knowledge.
mind that. But when you assume that we know a 1960s or 1970s John Wayne film, right?
The Green Berets?
Well, yeah, but I don't remember him. I remember the song more than I remember the movie. Right?
That was 8 Camp Savoy or Savoy 8 Camp. They had to push the jungle back to have a big old killing zone. So the guy, John Wayne's son, as a matter of fact, gets in the dozer and starts working, doing that work. So
John Wayne's son was a Seabee,
in the movie it was, yeah.
not in real life.
Not a CB in real life, no. Sorry. However, Mr. Beckworth, you ever been to Southeast Asia? Mm-hmm.
Here we go again.
Eric, like,
That's a great movie, man. I love that movie. I love
it
that
is a
movie.
good movie,
I love that
and
movie.
I'm already old and retired, but that was 10 years before I was even born.
Well,
What
then
year
you
did
need
it
to go-
come out in?
Then you need
68.
60s. You need to go see the movie again. Then. That's
I
all
was
that-
2 years
should.
old when it was.
Gotta
Yeah,
see the-
exactly.
You know when Spooky is flying over,
No.
the camp has been taken over by North Vietnam.
The only
John
part I
says,
remember is the
"Put it
booby
on the-
trap and the guy getting
put
on
it
the
on the-
spikes.
Put it on the camp. Those people have it." It's my John Wayne.
I don't want to squelch your enthusiasm for it. I love
No,
that
I'm
part.
excited about it. I like it.
But the assumption that everybody knows it, like everybody
knows
knows
John
Rocky or something
Gotcha.
like that. You know, it's like,
Great movie. Certainly represents the cause of the Seabees very well in tonight's history.
Nice.
very good. That's a good one.
Yeah, I like it.
I
I like it.
Had no idea. So, end up. Should we end up?
And,
End
Look
up.
at that. I always say it's a short one, and we're like 57 minutes. Look at that.
We're good. We're good.
On behalf of all of us here, I'd like to thank you for listening today. Please like, share, subscribe, and let us know how we did in the comments. And make sure next week that you were not late for changeover.
Yeah. I'm so glad I don't have to participate in that part again.
Now go
I-
review the Green Berets.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we should do like these young kids do, and they're like, "Hey, let's watch an old movie." This could be an old enough movie that we're like, "Oh shit, I haven't seen Green Berets. I haven't
Let's
seen
watch
it
it.
long enough to remember it like you've remembered it."
Oh,
Yeah.
I remember it, man.
So we do Green Berets.
cool.
We could do Bat 2-1, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good one.
We could do Final
Green
Countdown
Berets.
like Jake said that movie was. What did you call the Final Countdown that movie?
I don't remember.
Uh,
What was it? War
don't
Games.
remember.
I remember War Games.
we brought up
Um,
some movie. You're like, is that the one where the carrier goes back and then
Jake, what's your
Oh, that was
favorite-
such a good movie. I remember that one.
What's your favorite war movie ever? What's your favorite war
Um,
movie ever?
that's putting him on the spot.
I-
man.
Ever.
You know, I like the the original, like the Band of Brothers series
Yeah, that's true.
and the original Private Ryan. Those two are like
Ryan for me is a top.
That's your
were,
best?
were
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
I think that movie Fury though,
Fury's pretty good.
Yeah.
Fury will
Yeah.
give you PTSD, man. That's a
Hey, you know, if they had shortened that that scene where they're having dinner with the two, or when she cooked them the
The two
eggs, when they
women?
had the two German,
yeah.
the German
Oh,
woman
it
and
made it
his daughter.
so awkward.
That was crazy awkward, but it was about 5 minutes too long. It was like, okay,
I get
I
it.
get it. But, let's
Yeah.
speed it up.
The
Well, you
hard
said
part-
that about that was it
Yes, I did say that. Kandahar
What's
or whatever the
that-
hell it was that
that
one.
Guy Ritchie one.
Yes. I was
Covenant.
like, come on.
Yeah.
Was it
I got
Covenant?
Covenant. Yeah,
Covenant.
Marty's like, all right, next,
Covenant.
next.
Speed it up, right?
Yeah.
Marty's like a millennial. He's got to be entertained at all points in time.
No.
Can't build the annoying part.
Well, and
I
Fury
think it
when
should have been.
Go ahead.
I think it should have been way longer because
Oh,
Like,
it took
dealing
2 or
with
3
any
more scenes,
government
yeah.
entity on the phone is insane.
I
Like,
agree. But as a
literally-
movie watcher, I've
No,
lived it. I don't want to watch him live it.
No, you got to. The people that haven't experienced it need
Yeah,
all
that's a
of
good
it.
point.
Like,
That's a
oh.
good point. Yeah. you
Like,
gotta
I've been
say it.
going back and forth between TRICARE and Genesis and whatever the new
Yeah.
program is and providers for months.
Yeah. it's
I've been
maddening.
going back and forth, and then they're like, "Yeah, you're good, you're good." And then you go and make an appointment, and you're like, "No."
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Right.
It's so, and then there's no one you can go in and say, "You know this system, please fix it."
No, right.
You're like,
Right.
Well,
And every place you go, from dental to vision
yeah,
to orthopedics to dermatology to whatever department you go, you
Yeah,
start
I would agree.
from the beginning again. And I always go,
yeah,
I just gave all this information over the phone. What's the point of me pre-checking in? They're like, it doesn't take. We got to start it all over again. It's like,
yeah. There's no point to that.
It's crazy.
Verification.
Right.
Oh,
And God
that's
forbid,
why.
the one thing that the VA is fantastic at is notification. If you make an appointment, they'll send you a letter, a text, another text, a third text, and then they
Yeah.
start sending you a text on the appointment. Like, have you signed in for your appointment?
Yeah.
And I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah. I'm here. You're not tracking me.
Hey. Now, once you get in the
Okay.
appointment, they have no idea why you're there. But
Yeah. Well,
they
yeah.
got you. So. Well, all right. On that note, gentlemen, I don't even have enough music to cover all that bantering. So,
No, that was good. Leave it there.
but thanks for the week, guys, and we'll see you next week.
Good deal.
All right. Have a good one, guys.